Hi guys, my name's Mel and you are watching Emilio Big Dealio and I hope you are having an amazing day. So, today's video is going to be another zodiac astrology themed video and it's going to be centered around one of my all-time favourite TV shows, Skins. So, if you love Skins or if you love astrology or if you love both, definitely keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with Generation 3 characters and then go on to Generation 1 characters at the end because Generation 1 was my favourite and I think it's like everyone else's favourite too. But before you start watching this, just be aware that this video will contain spoilers. So if you have not finished all of Skins, then do not watch this video. Make sure you watch Skins beforehand and then watch this video afterwards. So that was just a warning. I hope you all have seen Skins because I would love for you to watch this video. So without further ado, let's get on to the third generation of Skins. First off, Frankie. At first, Frankie was a little bit of a loner. She was a little bit weird and had a very androgynous looking style. And she was also very hot-headed and also violent. And as her character develops, she becomes very confident, headstrong and very flirty. She also has very strong commitment issues and gets bored easily, especially with romantic partners. She's constantly getting bored and wanting change. She's a thrill seeker, she wants excitement and stimulation all the time. And they are very strong traits of an Aries. Next up, Minnie. And for Minnie, I've got Leo. And that is because she's the queen bee. She's very popular, she's very confident and proud, and she's very bitchy as well. She has a little bit of a superiority complex and puts others down to bring herself up. But that is because she's very insecure about her weight and she is very appearance-based. Next up, Grace. And for Grace, I've got Cancer. And that is because she's just a very sweet, lovely, innocent, very feminine girl. And she's just so nice. She's probably my favourite out of Generation 3. She's very friendly, kind, loving and caring, and she's just a really good, loyal friend. Next up is Liv, and for Liv I've got Scorpio, and that's because she's very strong and intimidating. She is very sexual and seems to be sort of a boy magnet. However, she is a very loyal girl and protects her friends at all costs. Next up, Rich. And for Rich, I've got Capricorn, and I absolutely love Rich. Rich and Gracie were my OTP. On the outside, he appears to be very cynical, very hardcore. He's a very hardcore metalhead, but on the inside, he's very sweet, emotional, and romantic. He's very poetic and wins his girl over with Shakespearean poetry. He is a true traditionalist and believes in true love, and quoting Rich is, "She's the love of my life," and that was just so sweet and heartwarming. Next, Aloe, and for Aloe I've got Sagittarius, and I don't have much to say about this, but that is just because he is rebellious, he's a little bit dopey, a little bit distant, a little bit blunt, but everyone loves him, he's a very good friend, it's Aloe. Next is Nick, and for Nick I've got Pisces, and that is because he is quite sensitive and caring and appears to be a very loyal friend, despite the fact that sometimes he can be a little bit of a prick. Next is Matty, and for Matty I've got Aquarius, and that is because he's quirky, he's enigmatic and mysterious. He's very unemotional, a lot of the times you don't know what he's feeling or thinking. He's very misguided and lost, he doesn't truly know who he is, and that's kind of his downfall as a character. Next up, Luke, and for Luke I've got Scorpio, and that is because he's very possessive, controlling, domineering, yet passionate in a relationship. He's also very violent and aggressive and always seems to be in a fight. He is intense, manipulative, yet charming, and that is probably why Frankie fell for him in the first place, because he offers excitement, what she wants. Last but not least from Generation 3 is Alex, and for Alex I've got Sagittarius, and that is because he lives spontaneously, he hates routine, that's why he has the dice, he just does not play by the rules. He's fun-loving, random and unconventional. Next, let's move on to Generation 2, and the first character from Generation 2 is Effie, of course. And for Effie, I've got Scorpio. And Effie is Scorpio because she seems to be the perfect juxtaposition of beauty and darkness. Effie is a very cold and manipulative character, yet she is very beautiful and mysterious and everyone wants to get to know her. On the outside, she appears to be very quiet and cool and just very laid back, but when she lets her guard down, her emotions just skyrocket and she just appears to be very broken. She's very dangerous and heartless and often takes her pain out on doing drugs and having meaningless sex with Cook or whoever's there at the time. She is also very jealous and controlling with her lovers. Next up is Cook, and for Cook I've got Aries. Cook is the most typical Aries you'll ever see, ever. He lives hard, he's the life of the party, he never plays by the rules, he's charismatic, funny, charming. He is a lady magnet despite his below average looks. I wouldn't tap that. He is an optimist, yet he has a very unpredictable temper. He is reckless and wild, and like I said earlier, in my opinion, the typical Aries. Next is JJ, and for JJ I've got Libra, and that is because he's just kind of the rock that balances everyone out. He's very intelligent, imaginative and enthusiastic. JJ always seems to be in the middle of a conflict. He acts as the peacekeeper and has very strong, good morals. Next up is Freddie, and for Freddie I've got Taurus. That is because he's very strong, loyal and reliable and seems to be the leader of the group of his friends. He also appears to be quite stubborn and has quite a bad temper, yet he's very loving and romantic towards his all-time favourite crush, Effie. Next up is Naomi, and for Naomi I've got Virgo. That is because she's an idealist, she's passionate and she's very practical. She's also quite critical and judgmental and has very strong principles. She is rather sarcastic, funny and a little bit emotional when it comes to her and Emily. Next up is Katie and Emily Fitch, and for Katie and Emily I've got Leo, and that is because they are both quite controlling, and that is a strong trait of a Leo. I think Katie is more of a Leo, if you know what I mean, but I had to put them both in at one star sign, or else it'll just look weird if a pair of twins were two different star signs, you know what I mean? Okay, but the reason I put Katie mostly as a Leo is because she loves herself, she is proud, she's confident, and she's a little bit manipulative and conniving. Next up is Pandora, and from Pandora I've got Aquarius, of course. That is because she's a little bit immature because of her mother's overprotective upbringing. Pandora is very unique, excitable, bold and chatty, and she has a very quirky, quite loud style of clothing. She is very fun-loving, yet she's very intelligent and clever too. Last but not least from Generation 2 is Thomas, and for Thomas I've got Capricorn. He's very friendly, honest and dedicated. He's a loyal friend, yet he can be very naive at times. He's very talented, honourable, yet he does some things that kind of go against his morals, like he sells weed at parties. He can be very aggressive and violent when he's angered or betrayed. Last but not least, Generation 1, which is my all-time favourite series or generations of skins. The first character from Generation 1 is Tony, and for Tony I've got Scorpio. He's handsome, charming, popular and intelligent. However, he is very dark and possesses very sociopathic traits. For instance, he has little empathy and doesn't care how others feel. And he's very manipulative and possessive. He has a strong sense of self-superiority. He uses others for his own gain and doesn't care what his consequences do to other people. For instance, like when he cheated on Michelle with a gay boy, Maxie. I'm not being prejudiced against gays, I love gays. Next up is Sid, and for Sid I got Cancer, and Sid is my favourite all-time skins character. I just love Sid. The nicest little cinnamon bun ever. He is easily influenced, humble, and just a very nice guy. He is loyal and would do anything for his best friend Tony. He is sweet, kind and emotional. He puts others before himself, and he's just very loving and empathetic towards others. Next is Cassie, and for Cassie I've got Pisces or Aquarius. I would say she's a Pisces Aquarius cusp because she shares traits from both Pisces and Aquariuses. Cassie is troubled, she has low self-esteem, she's very eccentric. She's dreamy, she's quite silly and funny. She's underappreciated, but she uses that to her advantage because she's very smart and she kind of manipulates people for her own revenge. She is very emotional, yet she hides her emotions from the world. She says wow a lot and she says lovely to a lot of things just to kind of mask her real feelings towards situations. Next is Michelle, and for Michelle I've got Aries or Leo. I would probably say an Aries sun but a Leo rising, so everyone would see her as a Leo. That is because she's confident, proud and romantic. She cares a lot about her friends, her boyfriend and her appearance. She is often hurt by Tony, but she lets him hurt her, and she gets emotional but takes her emotions out as a form of anger. Next is Chris, and for Chris I've got Gemini. And that is because he is open-minded, he makes friends really easily, He forgives others very easily, despite his struggles in his own life, and I feel like he's just a very strong character because he never really lashes out at anyone. However, Chris can be very irresponsible, fickle, and often careless about himself and sometimes even others. He relies on pills to keep him stable and relies on pills for a sense of pleasure and fun. Next is Jal, and for Jal I've got Capricorn. She's a talented musician, she's very determined and grounded. She's very driven and ambitious. She's very intelligent. She's a good and loyal friend to all her friends, especially Michelle, and they are very predominant Capricorn traits. Next is Anwar, and for Anwar I've got Taurus. Anwar seems to be a very cool, chill, kind of good guy. However, he is very hypocritical. He says he's a very devout Muslim and follows Muslim beliefs very strictly. However, he often goes out partying, drinking, doing drugs, etc, etc. Last but definitely not least is Maxi, and for Maxi I've got Pisces. Maxi is a very good friend. He's very understanding and very loyal, and he's also very funny and charismatic. Maxi is very creative and he's very talented in the arts and makes an excellent, charming actor and dancer. So that is all the characters. If you love Skins, give this a big thumbs up. If you agreed with any of the things I've said, also give it a big thumbs up. And also comment down below your favourite character or your favourite generation or series. Mine was Season 1, Generation 1. That's the season that got me into Skins and started the obsession off. If you want to see more of me, then hit the subscribe button. Obviously, it's free. My throat, every video my throat just gets so fucked up. So yes, you'll be seeing me in my next video. Goodbye guys.